Hello there, and welcome to the first episode of a Star Wars show, brought to you by A Work in Progress. So happy to finally be doing this. This has been in the works for so long. I've just been dying to go ahead and release this. Personally, I love Star Wars. That's just been my biggest thing outside of, if you've listened to the previous podcast, which is the Work in Progress movie podcast, you'd know I'm a huge Batman fan, but Star Wars is my number one. So I'm finally glad to be doing this, and just to give you a layout of what is supposed to be happening, it's going to be about everything Star Wars. The shows, the movies, the books, some of the comics as well, and a little bit of the extended universe that's not officially canon. So just heads up, we'll be bringing in guests every episode to go ahead and talk either whatever new episode of like Obi-Wan that just came out, or just certain topics, maybe just any input that I can get from anybody. And like I had mentioned in the trailer, a little teaser, I want people's perspective. Like, it's very open podcasts. Like, you can send us messages. You can just let us know what you think, what you want to say, because at the end of the day, I do want to hear everyone's opinion. But first up, let's go ahead and introduce our first guest. And for our first guest, say hello to Josh from the previous podcast, the Work in Progress movie podcast. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Welcome to the Phantom Menace here.
Pretty sure that's the wrong show.
Oh.
But anyways,
return to the cast member.
Welcome to the show for the first time. So today we are here to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi, episodes 1 and 2, since it was a two-parter this weekend. But anyway, so dude, I can't take it serious what these ad signs are doing. For those that are just listening, Josh, if you don't know him from the previous show, he definitely likes to distract people. So if you're watching the YouTube version, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you're not, then you'll just probably hear me lose track of something, and it's because he's doing something very goofy. But for what did you do? It looks like the camera lighting went a little weird. So what did you think of the intro to, like, the bring in Obi-Wan, like when they first announced it and everything? Like, what was your reaction when they first announced it?
I was hyped as hell because Obi-Wan is my favorite Jedi. I think he did a great portrayal in the early movies, and I just love him as a character. Even though you knew what was going to happen, you hated to see it happen. And I thought he was one of the best parts of the prequels.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he was definitely a huge part, because from episode 1, 2, and 3, like, just the beginning of meeting him, that first introduction that you get of Anakin and Obi-Wan, I think just the actor in general, Ewan McGregor, was it Ewan McGregor?
Ewan.
Yeah. When his first introduction, and then to just where he was at the end of episode 3, like, they couldn't have picked a better person to take over for Sir Alan McInnes.
He did a really good job. And I like how the brother died. Out of everything that sucks in the prequels, or a lot of things that suck in the prequels, the brother aspect was a good part to kind of set up 3. And it's the series.
Yeah, just that whole relationship and everything. And I think it's safe to say that the prequel trilogy has definitely grown more popular than it did in the past.
People either love them or hate them, and I think the popularity has grown because the newest sequels have sucked collectively.
This is true.
So I think even though we gave the prequels a lot of hell, particularly 1, but I think it's grown on a lot more people, because there are aspects of the prequels I absolutely love, like the fights and just the music and the setups. Mm-hmm. The parts I hate, though, are Jar Jar, and the stalkerish antics of what is considered love between Anakin and Padme, and just some of the writing seems kind of eh.
Okay. But in regards to overall, yes, I think it's definitely grown more. I know that those movies were butchered back in the day, but they're getting a lot more love, and I think that is also because the fact that the people that were the ones that liked it were much younger and didn't have access to as much social media as we do now to share how much we appreciate in all those movies and all that.
Yeah.
But in regards
OGs
to Obi-Wan, yeah, the OGs are always going to be good, and that's what everything's based off of. Anyways, so yes, prequels, Obi-Wan, finally get to see more of what we've been hoping to see.
Yes.
The in between of episode 3 and 4, we've gotten it through other shows like Rebels, a little bit of the
Clone Wars.
Well, Clone Wars takes place before all that, so I guess it doesn't really count. But just Rebels in general. Bad Batch as well. Bad Batch did the same thing in between.
You mean Bad Bitches?
Bad Batch.
Bad Bitches.
So no, we finally get to see Obi-Wan's perspective. We get to see his. We assumed he was going to live this kind of life in regards to being a hermit, because that's how he
10
was
years.
in 10 years, being a hermit, just like how he kind of was in the original series. But in regards to like a non-spoiler section, just to get people for people that may be listening to this episode without actually watching the episodes just yet, we at least wanted to give y'all our somewhat like really non-spoiler takes, but just takes to try to like convince you to watch the show in general. Did you want to go ahead and lead off with that, Josh?
No, I really appreciate it. First off, I love the story between 3 and 4 because that was a total of 18 years is I think what Luke finally comes into play in the fourth movie.
19,
right?
I think. Yeah.
19. Yeah, he's like still a teenager, but not yet quite a fully grown adult, or he's a fully grown adult, I should say. But you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, there's that time that there's such good stories to tell, and that's both in the universe and canon and the comics and games and all that. So I'm really happy that they picked this time because I was always curious about Obi-Wan because we kind of know what happens with like Darth Maul. We know in the comics what he's doing and what Darth is doing, but to see it live on the screen, I really appreciate it just to kind of see his mindset, where he's at, the training that he probably is doing, or to get with Qui-Gon at this point, which we never really seen it. So there's a lot of different aspects to see between 3 and 4 of all the different emotions that he has before we actually see him as an old man and, finally takes Luke on and then obviously his eventual death. But there's all that story, and I'm really happy that Disney finally gave us this take on one of probably, and I dare say, one of the most popular characters of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I mean, everyone definitely does love Kenobi. There's not a single person out there that doesn't really. When you mention Star Wars, everyone does remember Kenobi, but that's also because of just like the original Kenobi from the old movies, the original "Hello There," and then of course
the meme that came out of that.
Yeah, the one that we get from the prequels and everything. That's just what everyone always says every time. I'm pretty sure anybody that sees Ewan McGregor walking around the street just says hello there, like guaranteed.
1,000% I would do that if I ever saw
I wonder if he's annoyed by it. That's my question.
He probably isn't. I mean, let's be honest, this is gonna, no matter what role he does, and I'm sure he's done other roles, I can't think of them though at this top of my head because this is his role.
Moulin Rouge?
Nope.
Yep, there you go.
Nope.
No, he has a lot of good movies. But anyways,
I know he's a good actor.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just the fact that we get to see this in between part. It is exciting. It's visually Star Wars.
Yes.
Like
1,000%.
It looks so good. Even as just a TV show, they have the production of films pretty much. The writing is very dark, I think.
And I love that.
Yeah. There's just something about this writer. She's done other films or like other shows and everything that have that take. I know she did film some stuff for The Mandalorian. That's why Kathleen Kennedy chose this director to do Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Dave Filoni and both Jon Favreau have stated that when they heard that she was going to be in charge, they knew that it was going to be well taken care of.
As well it should have. I mean, this is 6 episodes total?
6 episodes total. Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait to see where this story goes, and I'm already in love with one character. I will keep it spoiler free, but I think you understand who I'm talking with.
Yeah. So it's gonna be good. Like if everyone else, like if you have not seen these first 2 episodes and you're just waiting for that last episode, because I know a lot of people do that. I do that myself with a lot of other shows.
I couldn't wait. You have the patience of the god.
Yeah. It just depends on the show, honestly. If it's Star Wars related, I will watch everything unless it's an animated show. If it's an animated show, I will wait to the end. That's what I did with Clone Wars and Rebels, and
Yeah,
currently doing.
I did that with Visions. Visions was phenomenal. I did not expect to like it as much as I did.
Yeah, I'm not done with it just yet, but I have enjoyed it. I think there was maybe one that I didn't like, and it still was kind of good. It was just weird.
Yeah.
It was episode 2, the Rockman one.
Which? Oh yeah, no, that was actually. I like that episode because it's one of the TikTok famous voice actresses, and she has a wide range of vocal voices, and apparently she did pretty much every voice of that episode. I was like, oh shit, didn't even know.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No,
Episode 2?
Shelby Young contributed her voice to a lot of the characters in that. She was the robot.
Okay, you're talking about, you're talking about. Okay, yeah, some characters, yes.
Yes.
Yep. I know that they used a lot of high popular actors for that show. So
yes,
like Joseph Gordon-Levitt on that one.
Yeah,
but
a good show.
Yeah, it's a really good show. I like that it's different every time. But let's go back to Kenobi.
Oh yeah.
So just to those listeners that have not watched this episodes, this is going to be the spoiler portion of it. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. We're going to rip that Band-Aid and just go, what are you doing?
Ripping the Band-Aid.
Your screen just went dark. Anyways, so one, I will say that recap that we got at the beginning was so cool. That like hyped me up when we got to see all of episode 3 again and everything before.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit to see that.
Yep. And it's good too. It's good that they did, because when we see Obi-Wan and he's like sleeping and everything and he's dealing with those nightmares of the trauma, like it's so fitting that they gave us that recap, because we saw everything that he dealt with up until this point, and then we still see how it's traumatizing to him.
Yeah, that was great because I'm glad they're tackling the emotional aspect, because I mean, think about it. He lost all his friends and his Padawans, masters. They're all dead, pretty much, or assumed dead.
Yeah.
He's exiled. He went from being the Jedi Knights to being just a commoner. He's responsible for killing his assumed dead best friend. That's gonna have an emotional toll. You can't tell me that's not. And he doesn't know everything. He doesn't know Darth is still alive. So it's really cool they tackled that.
Yeah, I do like that we get to see like the life that he is currently living. As sad as it is to see it, it's something that's definitely needed to be shown, like, because that would take an effect on somebody, what he's had to do from the Jedi Master that he was to now practically a very poor person that's living in a cave. Like,
yeah. But he's doing his job. He's watching Luke.
Yep, he's got that patience.
Yeah, and it was cool to see Luke with a little.
Yeah, when he was doing a little flying thing on the little hut.
Like they're
like
racing.
A pod racer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Just like his daddy.
Yep. Now, what did you think of the villains of the story, the Inquisitors, when their first entrance? Like, what do you like? Do you know about the Inquisitors and all that?
Yeah, no, I love their stories, and basically they're all ex-Jedis that just got converted over. So it's cool to see that side. I'm curious to see why that one Inquisitor has such a fascination with Obi-Wan. I believe. My theory is that she's used to be a Padawan of his, and that she's trying to get revenge or like blames him for something. I don't know. I want to see where that story goes, though. Why is she so fascinated, or is she just trying to get favor with Darth?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out too, because like we have the Grand Inquisitor, we've seen in the Rebels, who looks a little weird in this one, but whatever.
Yeah.
But the third sister, Ariva, I think is her name.
I think that's what her name was. Yeah. She has a vendetta.
Her hostility is very, like, it's pretty unnatural for, like, the rest of the Inquisitors that we see.
Something else is going on. Yeah. So I'm sure we'll get that in the coming weeks.
Yeah, it has to be someone like she wants favor into Vader. Like that's definitely her thing. We just need to know why. Like, why does she want his favoritism or whatever? I will say, like, that whole scene where they're just like hunting down that Jedi and everything, that was pretty interesting, because like they're not wrong. Like, every Jedi does want to help. Like, they have that instinct of wanting to help and be a peacekeeper.
I knew it wasn't going to be Obi-Wan, though. I was like, that's too early.
Yeah, no. And just that in general, like the fact like they were taking advantage of that one Jedi not letting that other guy get the knife thrown in his face. I was like, do they have to hold their finger like that though to stop it? Like, can't people just do it without moving their hands?
Through that,
maybe not him, but anyways, yeah. So what did you think about when we see Obi-Wan from his job to when he gets home, he has a nice little security. I don't know if there's a full droid under there, but it's definitely something under that sand. I thought that was really cool. But I also liked the little Jawa scene.
That was kind of interesting. Yeah. For the record, I thought that was R2D2 for like 2 seconds. I'm like, no, wait, that's gonna be with Leia. So
yeah. So
but it was cool to see that. At first, shout out to Jawas. Love Jawas.
Jawas are always fun to watch. Funniest part was just like when he's trying to sell him the part that he took. Obi-Wan even knew. He's just like, if you're gonna sell your part, like the part you stole, please clean it. He's like, cleaning costs extra. That was funny. Yeah, that little Jawa's name was Tika or something like that. But
it won't matter.
No, but we did get to see. I like the Easter egg that they did was the little toy that Luke Skywalker has in episode 4.
Yes.
Like we see who it's from, pretty much, which is really
that's
cool.
really cool.
That was a nice little pushback.
That's basically what, like, his godfather, I guess. Would you consider that?
If you would consider it to where like the parents did not give authorization for him to be the godfather, yes.
Sure. I mean, she's dead, so
yeah.
I just feel like Obi-Wan has a special.
Or the Guardians.
Whether you like that,
the Guardians is what I meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whether you like it or not, that's Obi-Wan's best friend's kid. I mean,
yeah, he was going to be the godfather. I mean, he's practically their uncle, so
basically,
he's more of an uncle than Uncle Owen.
Yeah.
Who I'm glad they brought back that actor.
Yeah, and how should I say this? How protective he is, and like how, like, you really stop trying to get involved in that situation.
Yeah,
go
like
away.
He wants him to live just a normal farming life, which obviously Obi-Wan doesn't want that.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to see his nephew get burned.
Yeah, totally. That was a really bad dig that he did to him when he said that when they confront each other, like when Uncle Owen comes up to Obi-Wan and he's just like he says that he doesn't want him to train him just like his father. That was fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, come on. But you assumed he doesn't know either what's the real happening. His father. I would assume that Obi-Wan didn't tell him that Darth turned evil, and that's why he had to take him down. I'm assuming he came over like just, his father's dead.
Yeah, he thinks it's your fault. That's it.
Exactly. I don't believe he would have told him anything else. Besides, I don't foresee that being the case.
No, yeah, he just blames him for the death, if anything.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what happens in that city, at least. So, with the confrontation with the third sister, I guess we can get into that because that's pretty much the last part in Tatooine before the end. That confrontation was very interesting. Of course, she would pick on Owen, but I don't know if it's because she was reading his thoughts or she was reading some, like, she just look. We're assuming she's reading his feelings or whatever.
Yeah, your feelings betray you.
Yeah, it's one of those situations. Now, that whole scene was very interesting because the fact that she's just like, "What, do you have a Jedi on that farm?" Like when he said that, he talks about how he hates Jedi.
He's not lying.
Yeah, no. Did you think for a second that Obi-Wan was going to have to come out of hiding right there?
I thought for 1,000% Obi-Wan was going to come out. I thought that was going to be the moment that would trickle all the events, but Deus Ex Machina happened.
Yeah, I think they're expecting us to think that, and they're like, no, not just yet.
Well, I didn't realize he didn't have the lightsaber quite yet.
No, yeah,
not at that point.
Yeah, we don't find out about that till later.
Yeah. What's their deal with burying the lightsabers?
I don't know why they're doing that.
Rey did it too.
Yeah. That has to be a thing that we're just not aware of. I don't know if it's it's like their way
ceremonial.
Of saying, yeah, like as if like this Jedi's dead or whatever. I'm not too sure why they do it. Yeah, because that did happen to Rey. So.
And I appreciate how there's 2 lightsabers in there. That was Anakin's
and his. Yeah.
Yeah, I really thought that was cool.
Yeah, because it's like burying your brother, like you and your brother being buried together, kind of situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was very respectable.
The Jedi are dead.
Mm-hmm. Now, onto the one place that we didn't expect to be seeing in this season or this series.
I am so hyped that we were able to go to Alderaan. That was freaking awesome.
Well, we got to see it more before it gets exploded in a few years. Another thing was just the fact that we got to see Leia, like a young Leia.
She's my favorite.
Yep, she's a like, and it's hilarious too because like you see her parents in her big time.
Yeah, I love Senator Organa. I always thought he was such a cool character. I like the actor first off. I think he's a local San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken. But just to see that world and to see Leia, who clearly, I think it was perfect casting. They did a great job of how she's going to be later in the series. Obviously, I think they did a great job setting all that up.
Yeah, definitely.
And it does remind me of Padme.
Yeah, it's a huge. I was super excited. I was just like, no, where are we going here? And then we did. And she is hilarious. That little girl.
He's the best part of the series so far.
Just the part where she's talking to her cousin and he says that you don't have to be polite to lower life forms. And she's like, well, I guess I don't have to be polite when I'm talking to you. And I was just like, ooh, got him.
She blew his ass up.
Yeah, that was hilarious. So of course she's gonna be the target. Like, there's no way you bring Leia and not have her be a big part of this series. And she gets kidnapped by these smugglers, or I don't know if I can call them bounty hunters, but for sure smugglers.
They're not bounty hunters. Smugglers, yeah.
Yeah. So of course the series, that's when we find out that this series is going to be about Obi-Wan saving Leia.
Mm-hmm.
And
they don't know, for the record, they don't know that that's Darth's daughter. They're just, because it's a senator's daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just think it's just that.
Yeah, and they know that they've got connections with Obi-Wan and Organa.
Yep. Yeah, so they knew Organa was going to be the reason, like, to help bring out Obi-Wan. It's just funny that, like, bro, you have Darth Vader's child right there.
You've got probably the most important, one of the most important children there.
Oh yeah, I do like, because a lot of people always refer to Luke, like whenever he's talking about Star Wars, it's all about Luke being whatever.
Nope.
But there was another. I love Organa's comment about she's as important as he is, and that was a statement. Like, that's a good statement right there.
Yeah, no, even in the movies, they were like, he's our last hope, and Yoda was like, no, there is another. There's a reason why. If Luke had failed, Leia was up next to, take down her father.
Yeah, there should be a what if series for Star Wars. I'm just saying.
That would be cool. I would be totally fine with that.
That would be just as fun.
So I have a question for you, because I thought about this when I was watching this show.
What up?
Did you think that, or maybe a millisecond, that maybe at some point Leia was going to show Force powers? I thought maybe she would break out suddenly, or I think maybe she would get angry and like push him back. Obviously, you can't have it too much because, in the series, it's never really described that she has Force powers until she's trained. But obviously, there's latent abilities there.
So, no, not here, at least in any way, or really in the second. Like, in my mind, I'm like, we're gonna see something, right? Like, there's got to be some type of hint. But at least right in these first two episodes, no, like that didn't really cross my mind at all.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe in a later episode.
Yeah, like for me, I'm just like, it has to happen later down the line. But for sure, not this episode. But I do like the confrontation that they do have when he does the conversation over the hologram. He says no. Mm-hmm. Obi-Wan's just like, I can't, protection, boy, whatever. Too scared, don't want to say it. And then he comes
scared, can't move.
Yeah, and then he comes in person, and that confrontation right there was perfect. Where Obi-Wan is just like, I am not the person I used to be, and then Organa is just like, well, you need to be, like, I need you to be right now.
I thought that was cool that he showed up in person. I thought that was just awesome to have them two together after 10 years.
Yep, just seeing them have a scene together after so long. And it's not just because it's just like the characters in general, but it's the actors, just because of where they were way back in Revenge of the Sith. So it was just really good to see all these people that had scenes together before have them again. It was cool. So I do like how they finally, like, he goes to go get his lightsaber. One, how do you know exactly where that shit is?
Without like a metal detector or something.
Yeah, like he just senses the lightsaber right there.
Force.
Yeah, I guess. I figured that he locked himself away from the Force, kind of like how Luke did.
True, and you assume so with the series too, because he could have used the Force multiple different times. He really didn't use it till that one scene.
Yeah, last second kind of situation.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it hurt him a little bit too, but we can get into that later.
Okay. So yeah, we'll go. Overall,
Episode 2.
Overall first episode, great setup.
Thumbs up.
Huge.
10 out of 10.
Lock it in. All right, let's go into episode 2. So all we see is just that new planet. I don't even know what that planet was called. Do you remember?
Trash Planet.
Trash Planet? I don't think it's called Trash Planet. It looked more like a flea market planet, if anything.
Hooker Planet.
Hooker Planet? No.
You know that's going down.
No one was trying to sell themselves. They were selling spice. There's a difference.
You sell your spice?
People were saying, by the way, because yes, he's on that planet looking for her. That girl that says I was someone's daughter once too. I think that's his actual daughter. I kept hearing comments about that being his, like Ewan McGregor's actual daughter.
I have not heard of that.
I'll have to look into it because I think that's actually true. But anyways,
continue talking.
The actor that plays the fake Jedi, when they're just like, oh hey, like we have the.
I didn't expect to see him in this show. I thought it was funny.
I knew he was in it because they announced the cast and I saw him in the trailer, and I was just like, they show him being very serious in the trailer too, and I'm like, no, this guy's here for comic relief. He never is not there for comic relief, and he was there for comic relief.
Mission accomplished.
Yep. It was really funny though. It was actually well done. Like him being a Jedi, but not really being a Jedi, from him using his mind tricks by holding his finger to his head. Like, one, they don't really do that. Another thing,
wasn't really a Jedi.
Yeah, no, of course not. I was more curious as to how he got the thing to his hand, but we learned that it was a magnet.
Very clever.
Yeah, that was the part that was cool.
You heard it live, straight from the podcast. That was in fact Ewan's daughter.
Oh, so you looked it up?
I did.
Okay.
I use the Force.
Yeah, on your phone. The Force touching the phone.
Me thumbs. Penny looked it up.
Penny. She whispered it over to you.
She does. She kind of speaks in the Sith voice though, so I'm very little concerned.
She speaks through your mind.
Please send help.
Yep. I do like that whole scene was just really funny, and then when he's doing a hand gesture to give him credits, and then she gives him the credits. She's like, "Oh no, you didn't really have to, but I'll take them."
Really didn't fight for not taking it. But.
Nope, not at all. But I like the little, because like spice is like, if you look at all the shows since,
spice is important.
Yeah, spice is like mentioned in every show.
I mean,
like I think about
that was the whole concept of the Kessel Run.
Yeah, like literally spices in every show now. Now that I think about it, I thought that was just very interesting.
It's like their gold.
Yep.
What do you think?
It's just everything that I always think about, like just spice from, what is it called? Dune. Because that's also a big deal. You don't know anything about Dune.
I don't watch crap.
What? That movie is a masterpiece. It won lots of Oscars.
Penny, why would you say that, Penny? Why would you say that?
She's like, I did nothing. Don't throw me under the bus. Anyways, I like the Breaking Bad Obi-Wan that we got to see him in the little spice factory.
That was kind of cool.
Like in the little suit and everything. And how funny is it that like we find, like in Star Wars, we actually see an alien that we're kind of used to seeing like on like fake articles and everything. Like when, because we have all these different kinds of aliens in Star Wars, but then in this specific scene, like right before he walks in there, we see an alien that looks like just normal aliens that you'd see like in those UFO sighting things that they make a joke about. I'm like, this is like the most average alien that we've seen it for a while.
I'm actually, that's probably the most boring alien I've seen in the entire universe.
I know, that's just funny. But anyways, yeah. So we got to see him finally meeting Leia. Oh, actually, let's talk about the fight scene right before that, before he gets to her. When he like walks behind the scenes of that little factory,
and punches people.
Yeah, he's
use
like
the damn Force.
Yeah, he's like you can see how out of practice he is. Like he's like punching well, he's fighting well, but he's still getting his ass beat a little bit.
Use your lightsaber. God damn.
But he uses his mind very well. Like when he gets into that part where it's a trap.
Trap.
Yep. And he's in that room with those guys, and then he uses that little thing that he stole and gets out of that room. I don't even know what it does. I think it just like makes him hallucinate or something.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just on the floor.
I was going through my mind the entire time of that. I was like, You fought General Grievous. You fought Dooku, Maul. Why the hell are you not using the one weapon you have?
I think because he just doesn't want. He's trying to do it as very discreet as possible.
It was in a hallway. The lightsaber just goes.
Yeah, I mean he can kill them all, but maybe he just doesn't want to kill anybody.
Yeah, our hot take. Maybe it's just because he doesn't want to accept that he's going to be a Jedi again.
Yeah, he's probably just trying to avoid it as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Penny agrees.
Penny's just like, I said nothing. Don't speak for me.
Hey, you can't say that. You don't say that. That's very rude.
You don't want to hear. I don't want to hear what she said.
She called you an asshole. I'm like, that's not very nice.
Yeah,
you're kind of a dick.
Pretty sure she's not saying any of that.
You're kind of a jackass, Penny.
She's
I definitely can't say that. Oh, she said words. Ooh, ooh. You know, go down. You mean. You're not you when you're hungry.
I will say, like, we got a nice little callback to when he meets Leia for the first time, in that room, and he does that little like hunch over kind of
little old.
Yeah, her conversations with him are really funny. But when she first meets him, when he says I'm here to help you, I'm here to save you, like your father sent me. I like that little rendition because it kind of calls back to when Leia was asking Obi-Wan for help, and she was hunched over and putting the disc inside of R2. When he was like placing her across the room from her, he was hunched over in the same way. So I thought that was really cool. But yes, the entire conversation between them two is hilarious.
Aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?
She's like, aren't you a little old to be like, I can't remember what she said, but I do.
Aren't you a little old to be a Jedi?
The funniest part was when he says like what they're gonna be like. You're gonna be my daughter. I'm your father, and she's like, grandfather. Why? Maybe.
Yeah.
He's like, excuse me. She's like, I don't know. I didn't say anything.
She kept asking so many goddamn questions, and she kept saying very loudly, so like, are you like a Jedi, or like, can you do any Jedi tricks, or like, I'm like, girl, shut up.
She's like, make me float.
I'm like, shut up.
She says it so loud.
Like, yes, it's like, oh hell, they deserve to be taken at this point.
It's a miracle that nobody called her in before that, but I do like that when the Grand Inquisitor arrives, and the third sister says that they have Kenobi there, but he's just like, well, I'm going to take charge because I'm going to take the credit for capturing him. I like how she retaliated by putting a bounty on his head and forcing all the bounty hunters to go after him.
Yeah.
I will say the shooting on the rooftop was very interesting because he's missing a lot. And I feel like, I mean, it's just one of those scenes. It's just
shooting.
Yeah, it's very much just like a stormtrooper shooting. But it's just like one of those things where like we know he is out of practice, and they're just trying to show us every little bit like of everything he needs to work on, pretty much.
Yes.
From the fighting to the shooting, like he's missing so much. He finally lands a few shots, but he's missing so much. And then we get Leia who falls off the rooftop, and he does finally use the Force for the first time in 10 years, probably.
Like this.
He had a little trouble there. But he caught her. You know, it was just at the last second. You know, another is very close to Gwen Stacy kind of hitting her head. Amazing Spider-Man 2 spoiler, by the way.
If they haven't seen that by the now.
sorry to ruin that.
Yeah, no, now I'm sad. I feel like though that kind of, like I said, hurt him a little bit because like he was so out of practice, and it actually took him a minute to like really get into it.
Yeah,
like he's trying to connect back to the Force.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy that we got to at least see some Force powers.
Yeah, and she got to float like she wanted.
There you go.
She's like, make me float.
He got that in there incredibly fast, though.
Yeah, he did get down there very quickly.
And am I wrong, or was I mean, obviously he shot the crocodile-looking thing, or dinosaur-looking thing, but then the other one, there was two. The other one we didn't shoot down. I'm just like, okay.
Whatever. They're probably still looking for him. They don't know where rooftop. Okay. They don't know where he went after the rooftop.
Yeah, he's not gonna. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yep. But yeah, like finally she knows like, yo, they really are Jedi, like, and now they finally start working together, which is good.
And then we lead to my favorite scene of this entire 2 episodes.
What was it? Haja sacrificing himself?
No, that was actually, I take back my statement. No, I'm just kidding. No, that was actually really cool. But the scene after is what I'm referring to.
Oh yeah, I know what you're referring to. Yeah, it was nice to see Haja kind of like, because you think that he's gonna go after them, because when they show the bounty, he's like, oh crap, okay, let's go get him first. You think that he's going for the bounty, but he's actually just there to help him. I want to know more about that part for sure. Like, I want to know why he's just like, well, if I knew what you were before, like, blah blah. Like, it seems like he has some history there.
Yeah, that'd be cool to track that.
Yep. And of course his generosity of trying to buy them time ended up falling, like being their downfall, because she was able to get exactly where they're going off of his brain. But at least he's alive. He's not dead, so that's good. It's a plus.
True. Surprised he's not dead.
Yep. Now I will say Leia has probably like the best lines in here.
I agree. She does.
Before all this, like she said, like when he's being very secretive, she says, like, you think the less you say, the less you give away, but it's the opposite. And I really like that.
Very true.
And then of course when she says, if someone's offering us help, we should take it. And then that's when he's very much just like, you remind me of you, like, you know, he's obviously not going to tell her who it is, but that whole scene just is very nice, because he says, like, you remind me of pretty much her mother. And then he talks about how like she was a leader and everything. He says that she passed away and she says sorry, and I love that he says me too. Like, he's saying sorry to her too, because like, you know, that's your mom. You don't, like, you never got to meet your mom.
Never got to meet your mom.
Yep. And then we get to the final scene, which is that Darth, the third sister, and the Grand Inquisitor chasing, or pretty much cornering Kenobi, and then she turns on him.
Vibes.
I didn't expect her to do that, where she just like stabs him in the chest or in the stomach.
I kind of did. I kind of did.
But
it was just she's a Sith.
Yeah, but it's just like, he's the Grand Inquisitor who comes out in Rebels. Like, he's not dead, obviously.
Oh yeah, and Rebels is after, so
yeah. So I'm confused. I want to know. I mean, hopefully we find. I mean, I'm sure they're going to tell us in the next episode he's still alive. That's the only part that I have concern with. It bothered me, because it definitely caught everyone off guard. Like, there's no way you didn't know that. Like, there's no way that you knew that was going to happen, based off of Rebels in general, because he ain't dead in there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I do like, though, like I said, Revenge of the Jedi feels, where it's like, you know, I can sense your emotions, I can sense your feelings.
Return of the Jedi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said Revenge of the Jedi, so.
Revenge, Return. So it's something of the Jedi. A bunch of feels.
You're getting both the third movies mixed up in the trilogies of each trilogy.
Trilogies. Revenge of the Last Skywalker Jedi.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But yeah, no, I like that reveal, though, because I always wondered, did he ever know? And it sounds like they alluded to him knowing in the fourth movie, but like, when did he know?
Yeah.
This was that moment he knew, and just all the raw emotions of, oh my god, he's still alive, oh my god, he's out there, and knowing what he is now, and knowing what he's probably done since in those 10 years, because in the comics, Vader's out there killing more Jedi.
Yeah.
And he's always trying to find Kenobi, because he knows Kenobi's alive. So it's really interesting to see. That was my favorite scene by far, just see all those emotions in his face.
Yep.
And that impact this will have probably in the next episodes. I really wanted to come face to face with Darth, which I'm assuming is going to happen.
Yeah, those emotions were really, like, that was spot on perfect the way they did it.
He's horrified.
Yep. Like, it's just, and it bothers him too, like, even after that, because
he failed.
Yep. Because
even more.
That was one of the biggest things. This is like when we go from Revenge of the Sith to New Hope, where like, he knows he's alive, like, he's just like, but it's like, did he think that he didn't kill him at the end of Revenge of the Sith or anything? But obviously we found out that he does believe that he killed him, and then realizes he didn't when he is told that he is still alive. I do like.
Now my question is, I'm sorry, you go ahead and finish.
I was just gonna. Is it like, I'm going to the last scene? Pretty much is. So if you want to talk about.
I was just going to ask about the third Inquisitor. This is where I believe maybe she was a Padawan before, because she's like, how does she know Anakin is Darth? I mean, obviously Darth Vader would not make that very public.
Yeah.
because he's very ashamed of the Anakin Skywalker name, and even when you mention Skywalker, he'll kill you. So how does she know? Obviously, I believe there was a relationship beforehand, and her age tells me that she probably was a Padawan. That's where my theory is.
Part of me,
I'm sure.
Part of me believes that she was at the very beginning of episode 1. There was an Order 66 scene. Part of me thinks that she's in that scene.
I would agree with that. Because why would you show that otherwise?
Yeah, like, and they show a specific kid talking, and I think that's her.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm sure we're gonna get more backstory from her very soon.
It was really cool. I was very sad, but very cool to see the Order 66 as well.
Yes, it's always like they could always keep adding that to something because there's so much that happens. It's around the galaxy. This is happening.
Exactly.
One of the coolest parts though was the very last scene. Probably the coolest part, actually. One, we see Obi-Wan having issues, like he's there like trying to like breathe, and he's like, it's going through his head right now, and then he says Anakin, and then we get Darth Vader's nice little eyes there.
Yeah.
Did it sound like you're just chewing right there? I don't know what you're trying to do.
Penny.
Yeah, totally. But that scene was the coolest part.
That was cool. That was badass.
From him being in the tank, then just the eyes, just like focusing on the eyes, and then slowly coming out to see like the damaged body, and then the breathing at the end.
I cannot wait to see that interaction.
Yep, because it's for sure happening.
And I want it to be also, this might be shooting for the stars here, because I'm assuming if he met her, he would know, but I would like this for Leia to be there as well. But I think if he met her now, he'll know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he'll know that's his daughter, somehow.
Yeah, so it has to be after, or like he just doesn't ever sees her or something.
Yeah, because I think because after the fourth movie, when he met Luke, he knew that was his son. Or no, Sidious told him that was his son. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that would be kind of a cool little tease there to just see her father or some aspect.
Yeah, and just be like, I don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm. You're scary, mister.
Actually,
Gee willikers.
I don't even think she would be scared of him.
She probably wouldn't.
She'll probably make a joke about him.
Why are you breathing heavy?
Yeah, it's like, what's wrong? What happened to you? What does that button do? Completely kills him. He just starts joking.
And there goes the worst villain in history.
No, yeah. But overall, this first 2 episodes, so good. I cannot wait for Friday.
Yeah.
Not too far away.
I want to hear more John Williams music, though. Like his, like, battle... what's the song?
Do we get the Battle of Heroes back?
Do we? I don't think so.
No, I'm saying...
Duel of Fates I'd love to hear.
Duel of Fates is nice, but that's not really a battle between those two. But, I mean, I guess. Battle of Heroes was the song that they played at the end of episode 3.
That was a good song.
It does it's a mixture of Duel of Fates, though, so...
Okay. I would also like to hear like the Force theme a little bit more. It's just like him. No, it's a Force general theme. I just want to hear, because like it's almost like, slowly have it play. Like slowly when Obi-Wan gets more and more used to the Force and get back into it, maybe that's where like it plays the theme fully. Because it was Rey's theme too for a little bit. I mean, she's got her own theme, but whenever she did some cool Force stuff, that would play.
Yeah,
that should be nitpicky.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much stuff that happens in this first 2 episodes that like it's just so exciting to see what else is going to happen. I did not expect to see a clone trooper just pretty much living.
That was cool,
like a homeless person there.
And to see the
actual actor who plays Boba Fett, and all these clones, it was pretty cool to see him come back.
Yeah,
so it was nice to see him with hair.
The interaction too with Obi-Wan and that was just like,
I have so many feelings. You could see his reaction, like his eyes are just like, y'all tried to kill me, like
you deserve.
But then he still felt the pity, like he still saw the pity in it.
It was just an order. He was cloned to do that. It's not like he was doing it out of malice. It was just he was cloned to do that.
Those chips in their heads.
Yep, yeah, that's why there's some bad batches, bad bitches.
But anyways, did you have anything else that you wanted to say? Maybe something like for upcoming, or like what do you want to see and stuff like that?
I want to see Yoda. I want to see his story next. I know it's not happening, but I would like to see his story, and maybe his origins would be cool.
But yeah, no, Grogu, dude.
Not Baby Grogu. I want to see Yoda to see where he came from in his story.
It's a long time ago. I mean, we have the younger Yoda in the High Republic books, which is really good, by the way. I'd recommend reading those. He's definitely younger, but he's still old.
Just like to see Yoda in his prime, just go with jumping around people.
They were joking about his like concept art and everything, like where they had him with the man bun and all that stuff.
That's funny.
I can't wait till our book comes out.
Hey, shit. All I gotta say is great first 2 episodes. Cannot wait for the next 4. It was a great weekend because for those we're filming this Memorial Day weekend. Stranger Things came out. Great show as well. Highly recommend to check that out. It was a good weekend for TV. Good weekend for TV.
And a Star Wars Celebration's going on right now too. I have it on this other monitor here. But no, yeah, lots of announcements, lots of stuff. The trailer for Andor, what'd you think of it?
It was awesome. I was interested already. Because I was like, where are they going to go? Now I'm interested to see where they're going to go with it.
Yep, it looks really cool.
And then
Ahsoka, so excited. Sabine going to be in the show. I'm glad that I'm glad who they chose as Sabine. They even announced that Chopper is going to be in it.
Nice. Okay.
They just showed him on the panel, and then they announced Hera, the pilot to Ghost.
Maybe I think that's her name. I don't remember.
Yeah, her name's Hera. It's just I don't know, Harrison Dula or something like that.
All I'm curious to see is where the next movies are going to go. If they're going to go Old Republic or not.
They are not right now. The next movie that comes out is going to be Taika Waititi's, and it is going to be during the sequel trilogy set area.
So it's going to be bad. Got it.
We don't know that.
It's going to be bad. Got it.
I trust Taika Waititi.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have nothing to comment on that.
As long as they don't bring in some other person to do someone else's work in a while, so that's where they went wrong with the sequel trilogy.
You know where they went wrong with the sequel trilogy is they never talked about Jar Jar Binks being the Sith Lord, the true Sith Lord.
I remember all the
That's
memes.
where they went wrong.
Everyone kept saying Kylo Ren was Jar Jar under the mask.
I'd be okay with that.
That would be really funny.
Kill Jar Jar.
Dude, what if Jar Jar comes back for this series? Obi-Wan.
Misa gonna kill you, Obi. Yeah.
What if he helps him?
He won't.
Ewan said that if he can do more Obi-Wan, that he wants Jar Jar in it.
Oh God. That would be god awful.
It would be hilarious. Would it be though? He could be the comic relief, and then I don't know.
It reminds me of that Robot Chicken episode where Jar Jar meets Anakin after all these years. It's like, oh my God, Annie! Yay! And then Darth Vader throws him out the window. And then his Force Ghost comes back to haunt him.
But no, yeah, that's about all I have to say about this for this episode in regards to Alzaya. You were scratching my arm. That's about all I have to say in regards to I don't know why
she's trying to tell you. She's trying to tell you she has something to say. Also, why are you licking my feet, you sicko?
Penny?
The hell?
See,
yeah,
look,
creeper.
Your child's licking your feet. My child's trying to pull my arm. Can you? No, not right now.
I don't. I'm gonna go take a shower. You freak.
Zaya's just like, all right, it's time to end the show. Let's go. But anyways, to those that are listening still, I appreciate y'all for joining us in for the first episode of a Star Wars show brought to you by A Work in Progress. There'll definitely be more episodes to go as we go through Obi-Wan and all the feature content. But yeah, don't forget to go ahead and like, comment, subscribe wherever you're listening and watching. Y'all have yourself a good night.